Exactly. So why are we doing that? What exactly is the advantage of us giving money to Israel, giving money to Egypt?
All right, fine. Bob, why don't you address that? Why would we be giving money away when we have to borrow money every day just to pay our debts?
Well, to keep people in line and in money that are working with the conspiracy in all of these different countries. And that's what it filters down. I mean, look at the aid that goes to Egypt and to Israel. I mean, you know, whose pocket is it going into? I mean, it's dreadful, the amount of money that we've given away for so many years. And that's why they do it. They keep people in power who they want. I'm carrying a piece on Wednesday, and I used the whole article, and it was out of one of the European newspapers, and the man who led these supposed murder brigades in Serbia was a top CIA agent in Serbia, and they were behind, the CIA was behind all of those terrible things that happened there. And, you know, this stuff eventually comes out, and, you know, it wasn't in anybody's best interest to have those two groups fighting with each other. And, you know, the slaughter that went on, and the U.S. was behind the whole thing.
Probably financing both sides, unfortunately. Anything else, Vince?
Yeah, I mean, all right, now, okay, let's say China loans us $1 billion, correct?
Right.
It gets wired to where, and then where does it get distributed to?
Oh, it would be probably a wire transfer, and then, of course, it would go into the Treasury. It would go to the United States Treasury.
Treasury?
Right. They would be buying Treasury bonds, and so they would wire the money. They would be credited, or maybe even sent the Treasury bills, and then, of course, that would be their security to get the money back. And then, of course, they'd get a certain amount of interest. Some of these don't even pay interest at the present time. But China has been buying our bonds so that we would have the money to buy their products. It was just that simple. But right now we're not buying their products, so they don't have as much money, and so their income is down considerably. And many people fear that if China stops buying American debt, why, of course, then the only alternative we have, since we have such a massive daily debt, we'll just have to start creating money out of nothing, which is highly inflationary, and that's how you destroy the currency. I really believe, Vince, it's all about destroying the value of our currency and impoverishing our people. There is no better way to destroy a nation, if you want to destroy a nation, than to destroy the currency, and there really are people in positions of power in America whose loyalty is not to the United States, but to this internationalist dream of a one-world government, a one-world economic system, and a one-world government. Do you have any other questions, Vince?
Yeah. Why would we even do business with a country that could potentially nuke us?
All right, Bob. Why would we do a business with a country that could potentially nuke us, like Communist China?
Well, you know, you look back on that whole history, and it really began as we know it after the Second World War, when the insiders chose Mao Zedong over Chiang Kai-shek, who ended up in Taiwan, and that evolution has led to what we see today. And I think the reasons for all of what they've done is not strategic in nature, but I think it's because they wanted to make money. They're just incredible desire of the internationalist corporations. I mean, I don't know what the exact figure is, but I'll guess that 70% of clothing that comes into the United States is coming from China. And who is the one who manufactures and brings that over? Well, it's Walmart and other international, transnational corporations like that. And they make a great profit, and they don't care whether China has a totalitarian government. All they're interested in is making money. And so I think that's why China was open. I think it was more than anything else, a financial situation.
Well, I think, Vince, there may also be that some people would like to see a nuclear war. I mean, what a wonderful way to change the world. Well, we've got just a few more minutes. Vince, do you have anything else to say before we let you go?
Nah, I think I'm all set, thanks.
God bless. But I really believe that there really are plans being made for World War III. That's why we transferred the technology to Communist China so they could develop their missile technology very accurate. They didn't have that until Bill Clinton gave it to them, and supposedly he did it for $100,000 in campaign contributions. And if you believe that, you believe anything. If you want to know about the coming nuclear war, go to my website, radioliberty.com, read my January 2008 letter called State Secrets, about how we are intentionally transferring nuclear technology to Pakistan and the Muslim world. Doesn't make sense unless they want a nuclear war. Hey, thanks so much for calling. Let's go to Lorna, calling from Coeur d'Alene. Lorna, do you have a question for our guest? Lorna, do you have a question for our guest?
Yes. I was wondering if you had any idea about the 6%, I think, of our gross domestic product and some of the Americas. I think they are trying to allocate for something.
I don't know. Well, I don't know quite what you. Could you rephrase the question? I don't quite understand.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not.
The next summit of the Americas. As a matter of fact, I want to email that to you, Dr. Stan. But I've already read. They've already come up with the agreement and everything that Obama's supposed to sign coming up in April.
On what now?
On the summit of the Americas.
But what are they going to do? Are they talking about the North American Union?
Oh. Well, they have those. I mean, Clinton, they basically signed on to all the mandates, Clinton and Bush, and Obama will too. That's basically some of the Americas, and they meet every so often, and they also have where they give reports.
All right, fine, Bob, do you know anything at all about that?
No.
All right, fine. I'm afraid we can't help you. Lorna, why don't you email it to me? We'll be glad to look at it, and maybe we can come up with that.
Yeah, that's for 6% of our gross domestic products or something for all the countries.
Well, we just love to give our money away, but of course, where's the money coming from? As the tax receipts go down, suddenly as the situation tightens, we're just going to have to borrow more and more and more money, or create it like they do in Zimbabwe, as they did it in the Weimar Republic. Thanks for calling.
What?
Bob, thank you very much for being with us. It's always a pleasure to have you here.
Well, thank you. Goodbye.
Goodbye, and we'll talk to you again next Monday. Okay. Bye-bye. God bless.
Bye-bye.